you can do. These are various pictures of Arafah. The aerial view of Arafah from here, on slide number 30. Slide number 31, it shows Arafah in 1885. Okay, now, when the sun sets, you leave Arafah to go to Muzdalifah. And this again is going to be a very tough night. What it is, number one, you're going to be spending the night outside. You're going to be outside, there is no cover, and there's going to be huge crowds of people trying to locate themselves within a very small space. Okay? There's going to be buses that are transporting the people. They're going to be making noise all night, horns going off. People are going to be talking. So it's going to be very difficult for you to get any type of rest. Having said that, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts tranquility into your heart. Despite the noise and the dust and everything, you tend to get to sleep. But in any case, it's a pre-warning for everyone that it can be difficult. Okay? What you need in Muzdalifah is you should try to get, like I said yesterday, the yoga mat, kind of a mattress that you can lay down, and then a blanket to put over yourself, because it's generally going to be warm if you have your ihram sheets. That should be really sufficient, and a travel pillow so that you can put your head down on the floor. That is basically all that you will need. While you're in Muzdalifah, you try to pick up the stones for pelting the shaitan. If you can, it's the sunnah to do that, but you can, if you forget to do that, you can pick up the stones from anywhere. Alright? How many stones do you need? On the first day, you're going to do 1 jamrah, which will be 7 stones. The next day, you're going to do 3 jamrahs, which will be 21 stones. The next day, you're going to do another 3 jamrahs, which will be 21 stones. Alright? And if you stay until the 13th, it will be another 21 stones. So, 21, 21, 21. That is, how much? 63. Right? And 7, 70. So, a total of 70 stones, you should try to pick them up from Muzdalifah. How big should those stones be? They should be just about the size of a small pebble. Alright? No big rocks. No big rocks, just about something that can fit between these 2 fingers. Okay? Just the size of, how can I say it? Just bigger than a chickpea, you can say. Bigger than a chickpea. Alright? Or double the size of a chickpea. That's how big they should be. And 70 stones, usually your travel agent should give you a little pouch, put those things in. If not, just pick up a bag from somewhere, plastic bag, and just fill that up with those things, with those stones, and keep them with you, right? So that's what you're going to be doing in Muzdalifah. Okay? Once you get to Muzdalifah at night, you basically, at Arafah, what you're going to do, you're going to leave at Maghrib time without praying Maghrib. You're going to leave at Maghrib time without praying Maghrib, and then when you get to Muzdalifah, you would pray Maghrib and Isha combined. Shortened and combined. 2 rakat of Isha, 3 rakat of Maghrib, then 2 rakat of Isha in Muzdalifah. Okay. Slide number 34, it tells you certain things that people do which are related to Arafah, but they're not actually correct. Things that you should try to avoid. Fasting on the day of Arafah. Fasting on the day of Arafah is not for the Hujjaj. The Hajis do not fast on the day of Arafah. It is against the Sunnah to do that. Because you're basically just weakening yourself. It is not appropriate to fast on the day of Arafah. Leaving Arafah before sunset. Okay? staying until after sunset is a wajib or even a rukn according to Imam Malik. So you should try to stay as much as possible until sunset and not leave. Standing outside the limits of Arafah, as I mentioned that already, this invalidates the rukn, and hence the whole Hajj is invalidated by standing outside Arafah. Ascending the Mount of Mercy or facing it during Dua, thinking that it has some merit. Okay, Jabal al-Rahmah, you can go there, and keeping in mind that Prophet ﷺ went there also, but it doesn't have any special merit and any special reward that a person should make an effort to go there, okay, or face it when making dua. It is not any special, it doesn't have any special reward to do that. And lastly, the thing that I mentioned already, wasting time in sleeping, around food, in idle talking, or wandering around for no purpose. Okay, the day of Arafah is probably the best day of your life. Do not waste it in anything other than dua and the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and especially as the day is drawing to a close. When does the day draw to a close? When does the day finish in Islam? Maghrib time, right? So before Maghrib, these are the most precious seconds. The time is going quickly. Okay, so that time, and you will feel it actually. You will feel that kind of spirit in the air when people are basically just focusing. Everybody is focusing on dua. Everybody is focusing on istighfar. Everybody is focusing on ibadah, and everybody is just concentrating on making as much devotion as possible at that time. So that's very, very important indeed. And now this is Muzdalifah, like I said, it's open air. This slide number 35. You can see people are basically camping out, and sometimes you're not going to get any space to even lie down. And one of the downsides of the trains last year was that when people got off at the train station, they basically tried to stay as close as possible to the train station, because to go on to the next step, you're going to climb onto the train again, right? So because of that, all of the people were camped in the area which is around the train station, and it basically caused a lot of bottlenecks and problems. So you may face that if you're using the train. In any case, Muzdalifah is you're out in the open air, and you try to get as much sleep as possible, keeping the circumstances in mind. If you look at the top of the slide, which is slide 35, this is basically a toilet, okay? And you have these toilets all the way around Muzdalifah. I mean, they are easily accessible, but there may be lines to get to those bathrooms, okay? So, and in those days actually, try to eat and drink a little bit less, so that you obviously use the bathroom less also, okay? So, but these bathrooms are there, and I mean the facilities are there. They are kind of crude facilities, but sufficient. Crude but sufficient facilities. Keep in mind also that they are the Asian toilets, okay? Flat toilets that you start from. Some people who are raised in America, they're not used to using them. It's miserable for them. Okay, we had a couple of people, American younger kids, were not used to that. They basically didn't use the toilet for like 2 days, and it's kind of tough that they have to put up with that. It is, you have to kind of get used to the situation that you're in and make the best of it. Okay. Muzdalifah, the night of the 10th of the Hijjah, is a picture of that. Pray Maghrib and Isha, the slide number 36, joining the two prayers. Do not pray anything between them or after Isha, but always pray with them. Okay, Muzdalifah 2, the night of Dhul Hijjah, night of 10th of Dhul Hijjah. You may collect doubles here, then you sleep until Fajr, pray Fajr at the beginning of its time, and then the night of, it is permissible for the weak, the women and children to leave after the middle of the night for fear of the wrath of the people. This is slide number 38. There is an exception. Basically, to try to stay up until Fajr if you can. If you have somebody weak with you, if you have a woman with you, if you have an older person with you. It is permissible for you to leave after the middle of the night so that you avoid the rush in the morning. And like I said before, that yes, there's one sunnah that the Prophet ﷺ did, and there are exceptions to the rule that the scholars have talked about and discussed in detail. The exception to the rule is basically that on this night you're allowed to leave in the middle of the night if you have these weak people with you. You can also pray at Al-Mash'ar al-Haram in Muzdalifah if you can. Climb upon it, there's a small mountain, Muzdalifah, climb upon it, face the Qibla, then recite the Tahleel and make dua until the sky becomes very bright. Again, not obligatory, not mandatory. If you can do that, it's fine. If you are, likely to get lost, because remember, you have only a few hours in Muzdalifah. If you go around trying to find Al-Mash'ar al-Haram and you get lost, then you're just going to cause trouble for everybody. It's going to be dark, and if you leave your group, it's very, very likely that you'll get lost. So do not leave your group. Stay together and do not try to do things that are not mandatory, and basically try to, I won't say it in a rude way, but to become more pious than everybody else, and basically cause a hindrance to everybody. It's not essential, it's not mandatory. Just stay in Muzdalifah and try to get some rest, because the next day is going to be very, very busy. You leave from Mina before the sun rises, calmly while reciting Talbiyah. So you basically pray Fajr at Muzdalifah. Before the sun rises, you leave to go back towards Mina again. And now, what they've done is, when you are leaving for Mina, the trains actually, and this is quite convenient, the trains actually will drop you at right at the area where you do the Rami. Okay? So as you are leaving the train, keep 7 stones ready. Okay? If the time has already started, which is after Fajr, you can actually start doing the Rami straight away. Okay? So this is when you are leaving Muzdalifah for Mina. Is the aerial view of it on slide 4. Aerial view of the area that you're going to be in. Okay, what do people do in Muzdalifah that are pitfalls? Slide number 41. Delaying the Maghrib and Isha prayers until after the middle of the night. Okay, so you've left Arafah, you got lost or you got stuck in traffic, and now what happened? You are delaying Maghrib and Isha until after the middle of the night. It is not appropriate for you to do that. You should pray it before the middle of the night. Okay? Spending the night outside the limits of Muzdalifah, staying the night within Muzdalifah is a wajib. Thinking that the pebbles have to be collected from Muzdalifah, they can be collected from anywhere. The sunnah is to collect it from Muzdalifah. Leaving Muzdalifah before Fajr for fear of the crowd, the Prophet ﷺ gave permission to women and the weak only. Okay? So women and the weak, and that would include if you have a weak person with you and they need you to be with them, then you can also be with them if need be. And staying in Muzdalifah until after sunrise is also not appropriate. The sunnah is to leave close to sunrise, right before. Leaving after sunrise was a practice of the pre-Islamic period of Jahiliyyah. Alright, you arrive in Mina the morning of the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. This is the busiest day of Hajj. We're on slide 44. You're going to do stoning the Jamaratul Aqaba. You're going to, number 2, sacrifice an animal. Number 3, shave or trim off your hair. Number 4, go to Makkah to do Tawaf al-Ifada and Sa'i and come back to Mina. Like I said, the first thing, stoning the Jamara. They have done it in such a way, they've made the train station in such a way that when you are getting off at the train station, there is no option for you except to pass by the Jamara, the big Jamara. Okay? Now, geographically, The big Jamarat is right at the end. Okay, so you pass by